Them shit bastards.
Oh my word.
Oh man, you know what?
Honestly, what a bunch of absolute clowns.
There is no better buzz than watching these scumbags lose, man. I ain't lying to you. I absolutely love it. And I love it when these idiots, these scums, when they lose, and I know they're in the dumps. I know the best thing about it is, man, the best thing about it, and Bumo, yeah, and Cunha, who they've gone and spent 200 plus million on their forwards, they fucked it up.
Not to mention 60 million pounds on Anana, who couldn't, like, literally could not save a goal to save his life.
And you know, I don't know if you realize, but Sheshko took their 10th penalty.
Yeah,
He
I saw
was
that. Yeah, just
shitting
watch
bricks,
Putin,
literally
man. He bless him.
shitting bricks to take his penalty.
Honestly,
Oh,
you know
this
what?
is bad.
And to top it all off, like I actually, ironically, I quite like the guy, but Amarin sat there in the dugout behind his coaching staff with his head down, not even able to watch. It's just like, that's no leadership qualities. That's like, oh my word, you know, he's just not the man. He is just
He's
not the man to
fucking
lead
shit,
them.
man. They're shit.
They-
I told you know at the start they were saying on New United, they're fucking shit. There's no other words to fucking describe the Man United.
Honestly, you
They're a
know,
bunch of idiots and they're a
you've
bunch
got
of clowns.
serious pundits on the internet, right across various different United media channels, genuinely saying that United are going to finish fifth, or or even more, they're going to challenge for the title, or they're going to like do this, and it's like, are you for real? Are you absolutely for real? Honestly,
They're shit,
they've just
man.
got no
There's
backbone at
honestly,
all. Just no
they're just
backbone.
shit.
You know, how many
Literally, man,
times
they're just shit.
is Harry Maguire going to save their ass as well with like a late equaliser? And it's
How many
like,
times has he done it? How many times has he actually gone and done that, Ben?
it's I mean, like, he gets up there, but it's like he's more prolific than their actual strike force.
And Sesko missed an absolute sitter as well. Honestly, you know, my kid in football, we came back and he goes, I want to watch the United game. I go, look, they're going to win. He goes, no, I want to watch it because he can't stand him. He goes to a school full of United fans, yeah? Obviously, he's
Yeah.
from we live in Manchester, and he's the only Liverpool fan in the whole bloody class. So you can imagine what he goes through, yeah?
Oh man, he must
And
get.
he's absolutely loving it. And I said, you know what, stay up, mate. Watch these
Oh
clowns
mate,
lose.
he's going to go in tomorrow with his full LFC kit on.
Oh, it's just
Honestly,
so funny watching these idiots,
unbelievable.
man.
Unbelievable. I
Yeah,
wasn't even going to watch it
yeah,
myself.
look,
I just had it on in the background, and you know, and then it flashed up. I watched Everton for a few minutes, and then I went off to do something in the kitchen, and then I saw it was 1-0, and then I was like, oh yeah, that you know, that gives them a little bit something to enjoy. And then it was 2-0. I was like, bloody hell, what's going on here? And I saw the game, and it was like Anana again. He's just a mess, isn't he? He's just not. His head's gone. It reminds me of Karius so much,
yeah,
in the fact
I
that,
agree with you.
you know, his mentality is like, you know, he's probably a half decent keeper. Like, you know, he was brilliant at Inter, but he's just mentally shot to pieces. And that's what that club does to you, doesn't it? You turn up there with a reputation, or you turn up there with, you know, a level of ability, and they just suck the life out of you. And
I
it's
agree
like,
with you.
it's mad. It's absolutely mad.
It is, man. You know what, though? Look, I'm not gonna lie. You know, at the end of the day, these idiots did flipping ruin my childhood growing up. Yeah, so it's only fair I send them to the graveyard 10 years earlier than they're supposed to go. So I'm enjoying it. Enjoy their demise, and hopefully we bring 21, and then it'll be completely finito.
Yeah, well, it's definitely not. We don't have to worry about them getting 21 anytime soon, do we?
I
Flipping
know, I
no.
know.
Oh,
Anyway,
my
guys,
word.
let's make a start. Big up to the chat. There's nearly 400 of you already in here. Make sure you smash the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done already. I'm sure everyone's buzzing today. United lost. You know, we don't have to play because we're good enough to play in Europe. But Ben, let's start off with the actual, you know, developments, or if there is any, or if there isn't any during the day. I'll be honest, I've had an absolute manic day in terms of work. That's why I had to miss my transfer daily, and Asim had to do the show in the evening. But yeah, in terms of developments, Ben, nothing really major to speak about.
You know what I'm going to say now?
Massive 24 hours.
The next 24 to 48 hours are going to be crucial. Oh dear me. You have to laugh, don't you? But yeah, it's another day of uh, you know, I spend half of the day thinking this is definitely going to happen, and then something happens, or some news, or some opinion, or some you know, some tweet or whatever comes out saying something, and then you think, well, actually, is it? And you just flip flopping backwards and forwards all the time. But I still keep coming back to the scenario where it makes no sense whatsoever for this not to happen now. So I am still really, really confident. You know, I think an 11th hour madness could always strike, and it could mean that we'd have to wait until January, or God forbid, next year. But I just think that for all parties, I genuinely do think that it will get done. I think this Larson situation, they had this bid of 55 million rejected for him. It says now, I think there's a lot of journalists saying that something around 60, 65 is probably going to be enough. They are going to obviously rinse Newcastle because we are at the stage of the window that we're at. So they are going to have to overpay for somebody decent. And that's just the way it is. And, they've put themselves in this position. I was listening to somebody before, and they were saying, well, they could have done this deal at the beginning of the summer, and it might have hurt, and it might have felt really defeatist, but they wouldn't now be getting rinsed for forwards towards the end of the window. So it's a very harsh lesson for the Newcastle hierarchy that they backed themselves into a really difficult position, because I think they thought that they could be smart asses and just get out of the situation by just hoping and expecting Isak to just say, "Oh well, you know what? I'll just write off another season of me career, not winning the league or the Champions League, and we'll see where we are next summer." Because next summer they could be in exactly the same situation. Oh, we can't find a replacement good enough for you, and they're not going to find a replacement good enough for you, and that's the harsh reality.
Look, I'll be honest with you. The longer the time goes, Ben, it's only natural for Liverpool fans to feel as though, you know what, it's getting late, it's going down to the wire, sort of thing. We can get sort of anxious in regards to the actual deal itself, and thinking, if when's it's going to happen. I think I'm on the same page as you. As soon as Larson sort of gets done, like in terms of an agreement, I know the Wolves have come out and said that he's not for sale, but if Newcastle are making second bids already, then I'm
Yeah,
sure the third one will
yeah,
come. And when the third one comes, it will be a 60, 61, 62 million, the sort of
yeah,
fee that they want. And once that gets done, we will genuinely see movement in regards
yeah.
to him to Newcastle. But obviously, look, there's some breaking news regarding Nicholas Jackson. He was another one that was on the radar. Plenty goal. Nicholas Jackson is set for a loan move to FC Bayern. Advanced negotiations with Chelsea. Bayern will cover the full salary. If I'm honest with you, I thought that would be, that might be one player that Newcastle want, but it feels like Visser and um, Larson are the two players
Larson.
that Newcastle have earmarked as the two that they want coming through the door.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah. But
how
that's
do
the
you
thing, isn't
see?
it? There's,
Yeah,
there's the strikers out there, but they're not strikers that they want. But it's like you're getting closer to the end of the window, and the rest of them have gone. So it's like you're in a situation now where beggars can't be choosers to a certain degree, and the gamble or not, they are gambling on the idea that come 2nd of September, Isak will just say, you know what, I tried, but I get my boots on. I'll start smashing them in for Newcastle, and we'll all live happily ever after. And that may well be the case, but then you look at the situation, you think it's going to take a few weeks to get fit. Then all of a sudden, it's like half of the fan base won't want to know anyway. It might take a while to get match fit. His head won't be right anyway. I think I'm right in saying a lot of the Newcastle fan channel said that similar situation happened last year, and he wasn't great at the beginning of last season. So all of a sudden, you got 2 international breaks extra. The games come thick and fast, but all of a sudden, come December, it'll be, well, you know what? I don't want to jeopardize my move in January, because that's what will have to happen. If this doesn't get done between now and the end of this window, then the only way that Isak will reintegrate again is if he's got something on paper from Newcastle to say, you let me go in January the 1st, or you let me go next summer, or whatever. But as time ticks by, and as if he's not playing well, or he was out of form, the fans are going to be like, well, his heart's not in and he's not really there. And it's like, it just creates bad blood and toxicity. And, and give them the credit. On Monday night, their whole ethos is about teamwork and team spirit and team effort and playing as one and fighting for the badge. And Isak's not in that mindset. So he just completely unbalances that setup and that scenario to the point where you're just running the huge risk of saying, okay, we won the Battle of Wills because we kept Isak and we saved face, but then did we really win because we've got a player who doesn't really want to be here and is not going to play to his full potential? And would you rather have somebody running at 50%, or would you rather have a Larson and a Wissa who want to be there and want to give their absolute all? And I think that's the thing that they're dealing with at the moment. And if they do keep him, they can't go and buy anybody else, because PSR is a thing. The money that they're bidding with Larson and Visser for now is the Isak money. We all know it. They haven't actually got it in their account yet, but it is the money that they're using, because they've already spent quite a lot of money this summer already anyway. So they wouldn't be PSR compliant. So if they keep Isak, they can't go and buy another couple of strikers as well in the hope that Isak comes round. It's Isak or the players. It's not both. So it's a huge risk. And I just think, hopefully, sensible business and emotionless businessmen should really just look at the bigger picture and say, we need to just cut our losses on this situation, sell them, move on, and we go again. And if they do get a couple in, then they've actually had a really solid window. All right, they've lost a star man, but they've strengthened in lots of other areas. And their job this season is not to win the league or win the Champions League. It's to get back in the Champions League next season and continue to build the way that they should do. But yeah, that's how it is.
No, guys, teams like Liverpool have got a home tie in the League Cup against Southampton. There's me calling it the League Cup.
I've been saying that just been done now, yeah.
Yeah, draw's been done. We're home to Southampton. I'm glad it's a home tie, though. I don't want to be travelling midweek anywhere. Yeah, but get them at home. I'll run a couple of super chats because they're United related, and we've big up Rabadam. He says just in to say God bless Grimsby. Big up to Ash, massive fan of the channel. Big up, because what the hell was Amrin doing in the dugout playing Subutio by himself with a tactics board? Beautiful time to be alive and an LFC fan. I actually saw that.
Funny that. Did you see that?
There, and I'm thinking, what?
And he's like that, with his little shuffleboard.
I know, and I'm thinking, come on, man, are you taking the piss? People are gonna rip the shit out of you, the minute you get.
It's like do all that bollocks when your record is like 120, lost 2. It's like he's lost more games than he's won, and he's sitting there doing that. And I just think he looks like a rabbit in the headlights, doesn't he? He just looks as I say, I really like him. I think he's comes across as a nice guy, but probably says it all, really. United don't need a nice guy. They need a real character. They need a real sort of personality, dare I say it, a Fergie or a Klopp, to go in and really get a grip of the culture on that club, because the managers that have been before them just haven't got the backbone to be able to do it, or the presence to do it. And long may it continue.
Long may it continue. I know you might like him as a guy, Ben, but anybody that has an affiliation to that football club, mate, for me, they can F themselves. I can't do it. That's just the way it is. I can't do anything else about him, mate. I can't stand him. The only thing is, I hope he's in the job for a long time, because he's shit. And I know he will never change from that system, because he's an absolute idiot for thinking that this system is above everything before even coming to the Premier League and talking shit.
Yeah.
And you know what? I enjoy their demise more than anything, and I love it. I absolutely love it.
Absolutely, mate.
But yeah, Ben, I look in regards to the Alexander Isak situation. I think, I don't want to be sat here regurgitating the same old shit like we have been, especially for the past week and a half, because it's been quiet. I don't really want to go down that same sort of route. It's a waiting game. I think most of us are still confident. Did you catch what James Pearce said today regarding the actual deal?
I didn't actually know. There was something that got said about it. I've been very busy myself today, so I've only caught bits and bobs here and there. But go on, what did he say?
No, I just said he said something like in regards to the deal being 50-50 from what I read online. The chat will obviously tell me if I miss something out. But he's saying that the deal is 50-50, and this is Pearce who said who's
Always sits on the fence.
yes. So if he's saying it's 50-50, it's 70-30 or 80-20, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
if
He's
that's
the
the
he's the
case,
glass
then
half empty. So yeah, if he
yeah,
says something positive or slightly positive, then we take that with him with a huge fingers crossed. Yeah, that sounds really good moment. To be honest though, the Liverpool patch have been quite quiet, haven't they? I'm really interested today. I think the biggest bit of news today is that the mood music around our core northeast friends, your Keith Downey, your Craig Hope, and God love him, Luke Edwards, even. Just the narrative definitely, or the mood music definitely is swung a little bit in the fact that Keith, I think, was very telling with one of his comments today. He was like, I think because of the conversations at Isak's house on Monday night, basically didn't go anywhere near the way that they hoped and wanted it
yeah, I
to
saw that. I
go,
read that.
then he's now saying that he feels as though a deal for Isak looks very much likely because they can't keep an asset of that value in a situation where they run the risk of getting absolutely nothing out of him. No, he may physically step onto the pitch, like I've just said, but it won't be the real Isak because his heart won't be in it. And as I say, his teammates will get that. His manager doesn't really want that. He's already come out and said, I don't want people in the team who aren't committed. So he's
Yeah,
made his thoughts absolutely clear, hasn't he? He's actually, I haven't really thought about this, but you actually consider the logic of what happens if he does stay and he gets reintegrated back into the team. But then they have got another striker. Say they do get like a Larson or a Wissett in, and he's playing and playing out of his skin and scoring, and then Isak's coming on and not doing anything. It's like it puts the manager in a really difficult position because you've got to play Isak because he's class. But if he's not doing it and he's bang out of form, then other players are going to be like, well, why are you not playing somebody who wants to be here? So the tension and the toxicity that it creates just it makes no sense whatsoever. And I know people can say, well, we did it with Coutinho and he played and whatever. But again, those situations were very different in the fact that, those were teams where that the whole team was built around him. There wasn't really any other alternatives. Whereas
yeah,
Newcastle's team's quite strong and, they have got some other good players as well. So I just think, maybe I'm being biased. Maybe I'm just being the eternal optimist. But the optics looking in just feel as though it just makes no sense whatsoever for him to still be there come the end of the window.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, look, you
let's
mentioned look
keep our
the
fingers
news coming
crossed.
out from the Newcastle perspective. Look, Lee Ryder said that they're advancing on Larson. And it looks like one striker in and 125 to 130 million pound bid would do. And I've always maintained, man, that you know what, the minute they bring one in, will allow Isak to leave.
Yeah, yeah,
They will have probably already done the homework on the second one, and then as soon as that gets done, they will have the money and they'll go and place that bid for their second striker. But
yeah,
I've
yeah,
always maintained one in that will give them six forwards, albeit I know Gordon's out for 3
yeah,
games, but
yeah.
that
It
will
was very
make
much
them
the narrative was two, wasn't it? And
yeah.
then now, obviously, as
Now
the
it's
window
changing
gets
to one.
closer, it's
Yes.
one, yeah, yeah. And I think even it might be a conversation if I hope it doesn't get to this, but if it comes to the last 24 hours of the window and they've got none, then it might be your 150 for us to strike a deal because they are going to then go into the summer with nobody else, and
They
they're
will
going to
buy.
need to have that
It
money.
is impossible, Ben, for them not to buy one striker. I just because
You'd think so
they're after
because
the
they're going to have to
couple.
overpay, aren't they? They're going to have to
Exactly.
overpay.
So, from my perspective, this is what I've always maintained that Isak will be a Liverpool player simply because,
Yeah,
regardless, there are a few strikers who they want, and they
yeah.
want to buy him. Sorry, they
But
want
that might
the Liverpool
force
one and are willing
that
to.
might give them justification to charge us more because they're like, well, we're paying over the odds. Well, you're paying over the odds, and
Yeah.
that might be just something that we have to cop for.
No, I agree with you. I agree. People are mentioning a tweet regarding Tsimikas from Fabrizio Romano. Guys, if one of you can put that up, I would appreciate it. Yep, let us know, and then I'll put that. There you go, bloody hell! This chat is quick. Liverpool have informed AS Roma tonight that Tsimikas is available on straight loan. Roma are considering whether to proceed to get this deal done as they wanted a buy option clause. Fab. Interesting, Ben. What do you make of it?
Yeah, I think it's just a bit of a tactical one, that in terms of they don't desperately need any sort of significant fee for Costas, but with 6 days of the window left, they might as well leave the door open because another club might get desperate towards the end of the summer, at the end of the window, and say, well, we'll throw in 8 to 10 million or something for him, and we'll get him. If we do a deal now with them for a loan, then we close all doors. So why not keep the door open right up until the end? And then if nothing else comes that's better or gives us more income for him, then we let him go on a loan deal. I think that's probably where I'd be at with that one.
You know, it's because what he's saying is Roma are considering whether to proceed and get the deal as they wanted a buy option clause. So the issue here is the buy option clause.
To
So I think
proceed.
what Liverpool might be doing is let him go out on loan for a year, right?
Mm.
Get some game time playing at a decent, good football club. But obviously, Robbo's got 1 year left on his contract. Yeah, maybe this is a ploy to say, okay, you'll get game time. We'll keep Robbo. Robbo will go up in a year's time. I don't think he'll
Mm.
sign the contract, and then Tsimikas might even come back.
Possibly, yeah. That's not a bad shout, actually. Yeah, if they aren't going to give, I felt as though, like, I think there's been a few reports about Robbo's contract being very what's it called, amicable, or there's some word used in terms of, that they're both at ease at the situation. So I feel like that might be, if Robbo has a solid season, contributes when he comes on, or contributes when he starts and does well, then it might be a rolling 1 year contract for him in the similar sort of way that it was to Milner, and just keep him going, because obviously his presence in the dressing room is huge. You know, is horrendous as this might sound, I actually think that the fact with what happened with Jota, it was almost like Robbo possibly made the decision, like, I don't want to leave now this summer. I want to stay, as part of this group and help some of these players get through this situation, and maybe even them help him get through the situation, because he was very close, obviously, to Jota as well. So that he might be thinking, this is not the time for me to leave. This is when we need to be as one, sort of thing. And his presence off the pitch might be just as important this season as it would be on the pitch. And obviously, when he does play, I'm sure he will contribute. Bloody hell, if Kirkes doesn't pull his finger out, he might be back in the team before we know it. So it'll be interesting to see how that develops. But yeah, I think with Costas, it's just a case of get the best deal you can towards the end of the window, and then it'll be just shake hands and say thanks for the FA Cup final winner.
Fair point, because it'll be I'm just a bit thinking it from a Robbo perspective, Ben. I think Robbo, even after this year, is he happy for a 1 year rolling contract? I think Robbo probably sees himself as a player who can probably go elsewhere, get a 3 year deal.
Would you want to play?
And probably be able to play a lot more than playing second. Well, as definitely second fiddle right now to Milos Kerkez. And it'll be,
How
I
old's
think
Costas? Isn't that old, is he? How old's
27,
Costas?
28, 27, 28, I think.
Yeah, he's not old, is he?
No.
No. Oh, there you go. Josh has just aggregated that Liverpool have informed Roma tonight about Costas Tsimikas, now available on a straight loan. Roma are considering whether to proceed and
29
get the deal done.
Misgan goes, Ben.
29.
Yeah.
Is he? So
So I
there you
think
go.
it
Then, so
makes
there's
sense.
not really. Yeah, it does make sense. Just to confirm what Fab said there, Liverpool have informed Roma tonight about Costas now available on a straight loan. So they've obviously said that's an option now. Roma are considering whether to proceed and get the deal done, as they wanted a buy option clause. So basically, they wanted to be able to buy the player at the end of the season, whereas we're just saying it's a loan only. But that might be because Costas doesn't want to commit to there as well.
I think
And he said,
because of going by what people are saying, Kostov wants to leave. He wants to go to Roma.
he does.
So
Yeah.
it
Exactly.
makes sense. And I think Roma want to do is they want to be able to, if he has a really, really good season, they want to be able to bring him in and buy him, rather than, don't buy him and then, he has a good season, Liverpool say, right, we want you back, or we sell him to another club in Italy
another club in Italy. Yeah,
in
yeah,
Italy who are willing to pay the
yeah.
fee.
There's
So
not
I
a
think that,
huge amount of money to be made for
to be
them, though,
fair,
is
yeah.
there? So it is just feels like it's a bit of a, you've done us a solid by staying and being the backup when you could have, agitated for a move.
When
So
somebody's at the
we'll look
door, you have
after
to hold
your
the
interests.
when somebody's at the door, you have to hold the fort for 2 minutes.
Yeah, no probs. Go. Let's have a little look at the chat. Have we got any more super chats that we haven't looked at yet? Oh, I haven't got the admin, so I can't run them up. I'll wait for Gene to come back. Let's have a look what the chat are saying. Do we think that would you rather? I was going to say, would you rather keep Costas around, or have we got to just let him go? Have we got to just let him go? I think we've got to let him go. I don't think there's any real risk in allowing him to go. To be honest, I think Robertson will be perfectly good cover for that period for at least for one season anyway. What else have we got here to look at? People saying in the chat, where's Asim? He's on a day off today. He's been smashing out the shows left, right, and centre. So I think with what might be building over the next few days, he might be doing 3 shows daily for the next 4 days straight. So I think he's having a well-earned night off tonight. Chat saying there as well, Ben, how signing and sales we making before the window closes? How many signings and sales are we making before the window closes? I think we were all trying to be really optimistic a couple of months ago and say that it'd be one centre back, one centre forward, and a winger. But I think realistically, if we do one centre back and one centre forward, the 2 names that we all want, I think we'd all deal on that right now, to be honest, with 6 days left. So I feel as though that's probably it. And people saying as well about Elliott, does he still go? I wondered about that one now, to be honest. I wonder whether or not there hasn't been a bid come in, and Liverpool are notoriously don't shift on their valuations. So unless Elliott is absolutely pushing, the doors down to go because he's desperate to play, then I wonder whether we might just say to Elliott, listen, can you just give us at least until January for that cover? Because we might have to use Vert in a false 9 or off the left a little bit more, in which case there'll be more opportunities for Elliott to play in midfield or even wide himself. So yeah, I think there's a strong possibility that he might stay. Just saying there, Gene, some people asking there whether we think that Elliott will stay or go now. I said I think he was nailed on to go a month or so ago, but I think given the situation, the fact that there's been no real bids, the only real solid link is Leipzig, isn't it? They seem to be waiting to sell Xavi Simons, and then maybe Elias will be the
He still
replacement.
hasn't gone, has he? He was very close to Chelsea. What happened to that deal?
Yeah, it's all gone very hush-hush, hasn't it? So whether or not, I think there's been chat about Cole Palmer being injured and being significantly injured. So does that change their outlook on it? But then you'd actually think that if he is injured, then Xavi Simons would be the perfect cover player
Jackson
replacement.
going as well now. It feels like he's going as well. So
Who's that?
Nicholas Jackson to
Jackson,
Bayern as well.
yeah, to Bayern, yeah. So you'd think that they would definitely be bringing in Siemens, and then that would logically mean that there was a spot there for Harvey. So be interesting to see. Be very interesting to see what happens there with that one. But I think there's a chance now that Harvey might stay.
Fair play, fair play. Yeah, look, in regards to Harvey Elliott, I think Ben, I think he will still leave.
Oh, really?
I just got this feeling. I think he will still leave because I think he wants game time.
You want the games now,
He wants the game time. It's a World Cup year. He's got that in the back of his head, thinking, "I have a slight chance of making it."
yeah.
I've got a
And he
chance of
hasn't really
making.
used him much in these first 2 games either, has he, to be fair? And that's
Yeah,
without McAllister for one of them, without Gravenberg for the other one. So Bosley having to play out of position, and he still only brought him on for 5 minutes against Newcastle. And I don't think he brought him on at all against Bournemouth, did he? Did he come on at all? I don't remember him coming on off the top of my head. I'm sure the chat will tell us. But yeah, he hasn't used him, has he, to be fair? So I think the writing's on the wall, you're right.
Yeah, so this is one of the reasons why I think it's time for him to move on. And I think Liverpool, he will move on as soon as Xavi Simons sort of moves on. Don't know where he's going to go, but because they're linked to that Barcelona kid Fermin Lopez as well. I saw yesterday regarding Chelsea, but I don't know how far down the line that deal is. But Ben, Champions League draw tomorrow, 5 p.m.
Yes, we're going to be. We're going to be. I want to say we're going to do a live for that, are we? Or we're going to? Do you reckon we'll react to it afterwards?
I think we should do a live.
That'd be cool, that wouldn't
I
it?
think we
Be
should do
cool.
a live. I think it's only
Early
fair.
evening live for that. Yeah,
Yeah,
that'd be
yeah.
good.
You know what? It's at 5 tomorrow. It probably won't start till 6. Yeah, Asim has
Yeah,
to go at
exactly.
6. Asim likes the 6 p.m. show. Um, so yeah, I think you know what? I think I'm with you. I think I wouldn't. We
That'd be
should
cool,
definitely
that
do a
wouldn't it?
live.
We might be able
Let's
to.
do a live.
We'll be able to have it on in the background and react to all of the teams that we've got, like, and obviously react to the teams that everyone else has got as well. So that might be worth doing. But yeah, I'm very excited. I hope that we get a slightly easier group than we had last year. But then, having said that, we finished top, didn't we? And it didn't really do us any
It was
favors.
unbelievable.
So in a weird sort of way, maybe it's like food for thought this year that we just, we do what we have to do to finish in the top 8, but it's not all about, finishing in the top 1 or 2 because, we look what happened to us. The look of the draw.
I'm talking about the draw, and every single person fucking wants Real. Well,
Well, Madrid.
Real Madrid, Real
Yeah.
Madrid, Real Madrid. We need Madrid, Madrid. Give us that Madrid, Madrid.
Oh, man, that
Bloody
would be
hell,
amazing.
man! This is
At,
everybody else
at
after Madrid.
Anfield or the Bernabeu, it's got to be at
No,
Anfield.
mate, it has to be Anfield, man.
He won't play though, will he? Because he's lost his place already, hasn't he?
That's true.
Seen he's lost his place
That's
to
true.
Carvajal
Yeah,
already,
I
which
know
is
it's
funny as.
mental, man. It's mental.
But
I like this one. LFZ Zach Juve at home. Bring him home. We sing the Chiesa song in front
oh,
of
that would
them.
be fun.
It'd be mental.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of people
Paris
took a
to
lot of offense
Anfield.
to that, aren't they? But I think people just need to realize that it's nothing to do with what happened all those years ago. It's just he could have been from Parma, or he could have been from flipping Vicenza. It doesn't really matter. It's just a song, and it's a great song, and it's like people just need to chill out a little bit and not take
Yeah,
everything as
exactly.
literal as what it is. But yeah, if that did happen, that would be wild. That would be wild. Any other teams that you fancy, Gene, that you'd really like to go?
If there's an away ground, let me just see if there's an away. You know what away ground I want to do, and I'm not done. I'd love to do Marseille away.
Marseille, yeah. That's supposed to be a bit nuts, isn't it?
That's why I want to go.
You like the mad ones?
I love the mad ones. I know. Yeah, I love a mad away, like in like Roma or a Napoli. I love a mad away because it just brings it all in. Yeah, look, you want stuff like the big sides, away sides, Dortmunds and for the fans and all that type of stuff. But I think Marseille away, because I've never been there. I've never been to.
Did you do any European aways last season?
Not last season, no. Last, you know what? Last season is probably one season where I couldn't travel because my work was crazy.
Crazy. So
It was
you were all over
difficult
the
for me
place
to do
anyway.
last year. But this plus another thing, I'm not gonna lie to you, Ben. I thought, I'll probably do a bit later on into, when it gets to the last 16, 8,
Yeah.
4, towards the end. I'd like to do, but
It's
yeah,
finals Bucharest, isn't it, this year? Is it
Bucharest,
Bucharest?
yeah. No,
Yeah,
no, no. It's Budapest in
Budapest,
Hungary.
sorry, yeah. Not Bucharest, sorry,
With
Budapest.
the return, it'd be good, innit? If we had the
Be
Kirkes and
amazing, that, wouldn't it? Kirkes
I've been to Budapest. I think it's it's a beautiful city. In terms of going up back for Dominic Szoboszlai and Milos Kirkes going back home, it'd be somewhat special because them two are the biggest two players coming out of Hungary right now.
yeah, they are, yeah,
And
absolutely, yeah.
we've got both of them.
Dom. Yeah, so
Yeah.
absolutely, it'd be amazing. I'd love to do a European away this year, so we'll have to see if we get it. I think Germany would probably be my choice. Any of the German teams, because the setup and everything is just first class, isn't it? Fans are really good as well.
It's Marseille away, and in pot 4 is my Turkish team, Galatasaray. Oh, I want them.
Right, okay, yeah.
I want them, but I want them away in Istanbul.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Have you
want
been
them.
to Galatasaray?
Been plenty of times.
Really?
I
Mad, is it?
did a Galatasaray Fenerbahce. I've done that about 3 times. It's
Really, yeah.
unbelievable. Like,
Is
and
it
obviously I was
nuts?
playing the home end. It's unbelievable. Like literally
Really?
unbelievable. It's an
Like
atmosphere.
a bear
It
pit?
yeah. And it's worth every. I think I did the World Cup and I was with the Argentina fans. I thought they were probably the best I've ever experienced in Qatar.
Really?
But then the Turkish Fenerbahce game was off scale, man.
Next level.
It's
Next
next
level.
level. It's next level,
And
and it's
we have to get
scary.
some B&R road trips going this season, don't we?
I know. Need to do it, man. Need to do it. It's hard, difficult now with David Down. We've decided to bloody start these watch-alongs. It's not as easy
I
to just
know,
say,
yeah.
"Ah."
Chain to the TV now,
I
unfortunately.
know. Change the TV, but yeah. Look, in terms of the draw tomorrow, I think in terms of favourites, Ben, are we still going for um who are Liverpool? Sorry, right. Champions League final, Ben. Let's go ask this question. I might as well ask it under. Ben Jean, who are Liverpool meeting in the Champions League final 2026?
I said in my predictions, in the prediction show, that I actually think that PSG will retain the Champions League, purely because they're in a farmers league where they can rest 11 players in the second half of the season. The league's done by March, and then they can just, they can rest.
Biggest bloody thing they're having
It's a
advantage,
nightmare.
man.
It's a nightmare. And they've got the notion of getting over the line now. They've got the experience of winning it. They've got a very good settled side. I don't think they've bought many players, to be honest. But yeah, that would be my vote. And I just think it's so hard to win it in the Premier League because it's so competitive. And I think it'll be even more competitive this season. We're not going to be won the league with a month to go this season. I don't think it's going to be really tight all the way. And I think that will be difficult for all of the Premier League teams. Plus the fact you've got Chelsea and City, who have obviously gone through the Club World Cup, so they'll probably be knackered come March. Yeah. Arsenal have got quite a strong squad in depth, but again, I think they'll be going all out for the Prem. So my gut feeling is that it'll be PSG to retain it, which very rarely happens, to be honest. But yeah, the only other obviously shout is Barcelona or Real Madrid, but I just feel like Barcelona are just a little bit short at the back. And I feel like Real Madrid is very much in transition and still a young side. And I think that it's probably another year or two before they're ready to win it again. So, yeah, my shout would be PSG.
Interesting.
What do you reckon?
If we get to the final, if I wanted to see a game, it's probably Liverpool versus Barcelona. That's the game. Yeah, I'd love it. I'd love that final.
It was who was the semi last year against Barcelona and Inter. Oh, that was class, wasn't it? Yeah, that was just
I think there will be goals galore. We would batter their defense. We would absolutely annihilate them. Our forward line would take them to the cleaners, and it'll be a good battle in midfield as well. They've got some good players. And obviously, going forward, they're really, really good. Yeah, as good as ours. So it'll be a proper end-to-end sort of game. So if I had to choose a team from a Champions League, if a final. Plus, we've not played Barcelona. We played Real Madrid a few times, and I'm sick of sight.
Yeah. Real Madrid would just be all about Trent, wouldn't it? And it would be just.
And I don't want that. I want to see something different. I've been to a few finals.
Barcelona would be class.
Yeah. Barcelona would be. It'd actually be a good final.
Yeah, but I do genuinely think if we get some rhythm going and we get some momentum and we stay clear of big injuries, then I think we'll have a real good run in the Champions League this year. To the point where I would expect us to be very close, if not in the final. And I think it'll just be a 50-50, as it always is when it comes to a final, just how it goes on the night sort of thing. But yeah, I've got no doubt in my mind if we can get some rhythm and we can get some fluency in the team and get and stay clear of big injuries, then I would expect us to go minimum semis.
Yeah, look, you definitely need luck in the Champions League when we've known this. You need some sort of luck to get to the final, and we have the team to get there. I think obviously once Gay and Isak are through the door, going forward, we're probably the best side in the world going forward. If you look at our forward players, and then obviously Gay shows up our defense. Our midfield is still very, very good. Obviously, we've still one of the best, arguably the best goalkeeper in the world. Still at that football club, and we know how big that is. And the only side in terms of who've got a better side or can challenges is PSG, really, pound for pound. So they're probably the only ones, but it's very difficult to retain. I think obviously Real Madrid being the only one that managed to do it. It's very, very difficult to retain the Champions League. And it'll be interesting to see how PSG can go on. Plus another thing, Ben, they can try is now that they've done it, the league form, obviously they can chill out, but then just to turn it on again and go again.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
not as easy as once you've been playing against the big sides and all that type of stuff. It does make it easy, and plus they had the momentum last year as well, which carried them after December with Kvaratskhelia coming in. It was a new lease of life for that team, and to look, if they were that good, that and we were, we weren't great yet. We took them to a penalty shootout in them games, albeit they absolutely battered us in the away leg.
Mm.
But I think I think Liverpool will definitely go deep. Rumi goes City and Arsenal. I think Arsenal will go deep again.
Who would you least like to play out the English teams if you had to? I'm just trying to think in my head.
I think two
Which
legs
I'd like to
against City.
face.
City don't scare me anymore. I'll be honest, they don't scare me.
Yeah.
Chelsea are a fucking weird team.
They are, aren't they? Yeah.
They're a weird side
because
who
you think we're much
always
better
give
than
us
them,
a game.
but
When they're
really
shit,
difficult.
they gave us a game. In the cup finals, you saw they gave us a game. So I would probably say Chelsea.
Yeah, Chelsea.
Just
for me.
Arsenal. Look, I have a laugh.
A lot
with
of people
Arsenal
saying
all the time.
Arsenal in the chat, but I'm really surprised at that because I think Arsenal would be a real tough nut over two legs because they're just solid defensively, and they've got players who can just nick a goal here and there. So I think that would be really, really difficult. My shout would be the same as yours. I think if you catch Chelsea at the right time, then I think they are very beatable. But then I'd really like to get City as well. If I have to get an English team, I'd quite like to get City because, as you say, I just don't feel as though they've got that mental strength at this moment in time.
They don't scare me anymore. I think
that's
they
were quite toothless on Saturday, weren't they?
This is
they
a
were
wicked
very.
We forgot. You know what the crazy thing is? I forgot about them.
Totally forgot that they're in the Champions League. Yeah, totally forgot
about these guys. Imagine them in the Champions League.
I would love them over two legs. Love them over two. You know
Second
what?
leg Anfield.
Evan Keegan mode. I would love it if we met them over two legs. I would love it.
But or Spurs, fucking hell, I even forgot there's 5 teams in there.
Yeah, bloody hell. Flipping Nora. We're definitely going to get one then, aren't we? Yeah, I think Spurs is another one.
No, I think not in the group
really
stages
you can't.
Yeah, not in the group stages you can't, but I think afterwards.
No, in the knockouts. Yeah.
But I want
who do you think will qualify? Do you think we'll all get through?
Yeah.
Do you? All of the English teams will get through?
Yeah. I think if they don't make the first top 8, they'll make the top 16. So otherwise it's top 16, 24 to get into the playoff. I think there's many sides that are nowhere near as good as any of the English side. They'll definitely make the playoffs. And then I think even then, depending on who they get, I can still see most of the teams pulling through. If I'm honest, I think a lot of them will get through.
Yeah. Brett there saying we can only get an English team in the knockouts. Yeah, sorry, apologies. You're right. Obviously, we can only get one in the knockouts.
This is mental. I can't believe. You know what? Do you like this new setup?
The 36 team. The new format. Yeah, I like it. I really like it. I think it's cool. I think it probably just it's sort of like it's almost setting us up for a Super League in the future. That's what it feels like, really, to be honest. But I like it. I really like it because you get to play obviously more big teams. Yeah. I just think it's a waste of time. You're in a group of 4, and you might have like one big game, but then the other 3 games are against flipping Plampot United, and it's like Karabag or whatever. It's just. It just feels like they're just dead rubbers because you just got to go there and get the job done, and that's that. Whereas if all of a sudden your run is like, Real Madrid at Anfield, Juventus away, Dortmund at Anfield, PSG away, it's like you're going to play some big teams in the early rounds, and it creates some really big ties, doesn't it? So, and it makes it exciting because you're in a league format, and you can't you've got to go for every game. You can't just sort of sit on a result. So I like it, to be honest. I think it's really good. Obviously, I felt like we got done up like a kipper a bit last year, but that was just a luck of the draw. There probably should be a thing where if you finish first or second, I think they've changed it slightly this year. If you finish first or second, then you get all of your knockout games second leg at home, which is obviously a big advantage.
All of your knockout games.
I think that's what I'm pretty sure. I'm sure the chat will correct me if I'm wrong, but I did read somewhere that if you finish first or second, all of your knockout games are right up until the semis, I think it is, are all second leg away. So that would be a big advantage, especially for us second leg at Anfield. If that is the case, I'm pretty sure that's what I read somewhere.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
So someone want to check that out and find out whether I'm talking nonsense or not. But I'm pretty sure I read that. Here we
oh,
go. LFC David Ben is right. So
Ben is right.
yeah, I think that would be a huge plus for us, to be honest. And
We
we'll
did
see
have that
whether or not.
last year, Ben.
No, we didn't. No.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
we
did.
did actually. Yeah, we did. We did. Yeah, we did in the first one. But yeah, we'll see whether or not it comes to fruition again. I think we'd have won that game against PSG. We're the only ones who took them to extra time, aren't we? They played all of the English teams, and they didn't anyone? Nobody else took them to
If
extra time, did
in
they?
terms of the game, yes, I thought we were the only side that gave them a go. We had a chance, but if I'm
Yeah.
honest with you, they deserve to win the game. I
Yeah,
thought
yeah, but
they
they
were the
were
better
they
side
were
over the
fresher,
period.
weren't they, as well? And that's the key. They were completely fresh. They'd rested
They were
11
shattered as
players.
well.
We were playing, was it Bournemouth, I think it was, or Forest, maybe? Like, and we had that horrible run, didn't we? Where we had
Villa,
to play. We were
Forest,
Bournemouth away, we had Forest away, and we had Brentford
Villa.
away.
Yeah.
And it was tough, real tough going, really tough games. We got the results to get us over the line, but it was tough games, and that took a lot out of us. And we come to the game, and then Trent broke down second half, didn't he? And we struggled. So we need that depth to be able to compete when it comes to the crunch. So we'll see how things go.
Yeah, and then obviously I know what you mean. I think I'm more with you in regards to that. In terms of the new format, I wasn't against the old one because I like the fact there was two home and leg games against a certain side. But I
Mm,
get it because if there was times 7 points, 10, 9 points is probably get you sometimes enough to go on to the next round.
yeah,
Um, and I hated the fact about the teams dropping into Europa League. I
yeah.
didn't like it at all. That was a shit rule just
Oh
to
yeah,
try
that
and
was
make
crap.
the
If you're out, you're out. You
you're out,
shouldn't
you're
get it
right.
back. You
Why?
shouldn't.
What's that got to do with bloody Europa League
Yeah.
bullshit, man? That
It
didn't make
totally, it
sense.
totally, it's a slap in the face for the teams that are qualified for that competition as well.
Exactly.
It just doesn't make sense, does it? It just doesn't make sense. It's like saying, oh, you get knocked out of the FA Cup and you go into the quarters of the Carabao Cup or something stupid like that. It's just separate competition. Yeah, so that makes perfect sense to me as well. Just looking to see if there's been any more
And,
news, but it's
nothing
pretty
as of
chill.
right now. Nothing as of right now. Ben, it's a massive
Southampton's a good
24
draw, isn't
hours. Huh?
it? I was just going to say Southampton. I've just seen that again. That's a nice, solid draw for us for the third round, isn't it?
We always get them in the FA Cup or the League Cup.
We
We
do, don't we?
always
Yeah,
play Southampton down the line
yeah,
somewhere.
yeah. But that's a nice game for us at home. No, like a nasty team or not, and so that'll be a chance to give probably Leone his debut. Probably Trey will get a game. You'd think Rio will start. Maybe Chiesa starts as well. So there's plenty of bodies there that can come in and get minutes, isn't there? So that's a really good draw. But sorry, mate, you were going to say the next 24 hours.
Yeah, I was just having a laugh. But we'll do some super chats because a few of them are coming.
Okay.
Jack Whittaker, Liverpool journalists are very quiet right now regarding Isak and Gay. Speaks volumes for me. Always said only listen to Joyce plus Ornstein, RE Liverpool. And the second one, he says from the same person, he goes, Jacobs, Crook, Pearce, etc. are all chances. Look, no comment. End of the day, look, what you have to understand is journalists are gonna get stuff right, they're gonna get stuff wrong. And at times there isn't much to report. So they will always speak, they'll try and give us the info. Look, I'm not against journos in terms of ITKs and thingies. Look, we've got one in the house ourselves, Avi. So look, I have a laugh with them, I have a giggle with them, I have a go at them all the time. Everybody knows that I have a go at the ITKs, especially if they're gaslighting. But look, generally speaking, end of the day, they try to give you what you can. I don't think they lie. I don't think any journalist will go out there, to lie about something. It just doesn't make sense. Why would you do that?
But let's have it right and let's be honest. And everyone should be honest about this. They've got a living to make as well. you know, this is their prime time of the year, isn't it? This is their Christmas, basically, where they've got to maximize their revenue streams. And we all know social media and podcasting and YouTube and whatnot are forms of income. So, you know, they're going to maximize it, and they're going to say as much as they can. They're going to message and tweet regurgitated information or slightly different alterated information from what it is, because that's the business that we're all in. You know,
Yeah.
it is what it is. So, you know, you can't what's it called, you can't really knock them for what they're doing. They're just trying to, you know, they're just trying to do the job.
Yep. Rumi goes, Gene, thoughts on indie Gene. Look, I'm end of the day. Look, I'll be open and honest with you. At first, I thought he was in a bit of an account that likes to have a laugh, do all of that. You know, we all thought, you know, he's a parody account sort of thing that, you know, I'd like to have a go. Got a few things right. I don't know if he had sources or no sources. But if I'm honest with you, this summer I think he was doing pretty well up until, you know, he started coming up with a little bit too much shit. If I'm honest with you, I'm not gonna sit here and not say what I thought, what I think, but he got quite a bit right this year. So, you know, credit where credit's due, but I'll give shit when I need to give shit to him. Because even the Trent thing that I think it was Trent thing that somebody sent me today, I was like, Yard, come on, man. You've done a great summer. Don't fucking ruin it by talking this level of bollocks about Trent returning and all that type of stuff. So that's where I'm at with him. Look, at the end of the day, people do what they need to do. But this Trent business that I saw, I was like, man, come on. You had a great summer. You've absolutely picked up like, I think he's picked up like 200,000 followers this window. You know, you don't go and ruin it by, you know, saying stuff like this. And, you know, it is what it is, but he has got quite a few things right this summer. So fair play to him, and he can crack on, and I wish him all the best in what he's trying to do. But Ben, let's go back. We'll speak about Mark Gay.
Just before you do, mate, just
man?
a few more memberships there.
Is that? Oh, sorry, I might have missed some then.
We got the. Did you do that? Rabadam.
No, he's already a member.
Oh, we got that one. Sorry. Oh, right. Yeah. Okay.
Guys
Sorry.
are already members. Yeah.
UCL draw one. You got that one, haven't you?
Yeah, I did that, and I did the God Bless Grimsby one as well.
Yeah. Sorry, mate. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, and to be fair, look, I think Mark Gay. Then Ben, before we close it, we'll go for an hour today. There's no point going on for any longer. Hopefully tomorrow we will hear a lot more.
We're building ourselves up for the next 24 to 48 hours.
But yeah, Mark Gay, Ben, can we? I think we're not really going to hear much until after Thursday, no?
No. There was some significant messaging on that though again today, wasn't there? I think in terms of it was. I think it was Fab, wasn't it, who said something quite significant, saying Liverpool very much still in there. They're getting, you know, they're serious about it. They're talking around the 30 million mark. So I do feel as though there's been a lot of chat as well about the fact that Palace play the second leg of their Europa qualifier tomorrow night. And I think there was some chat from the manager saying that we want him to stay. But then I think he said he caveated it by saying we want him to stay at least until Thursday. I think that might have sneaked out. So they maybe want their captain to be able to get them over the line to qualify for that competition.
Yeah.
So you might see that bid come possibly Friday, and then that gets done over the weekend in the backdrop of what we hope will be the main event with Alexander. So yeah, I think that one will happen, to be honest. Maybe the deadline. I think if we look at it, you know, ironically, people are saying, oh, if he did sign pretty quick, then he might be in the team for Sunday. But I think if you're being honest, you know, it wouldn't really look or make sense for even if we were to get that deal done quite quickly, for him to have a medical, come down to Liverpool, train with the team maybe once, and then go straight in for the biggest game of the season. It doesn't feel very Liverpool-like, does it? It doesn't really send the right message to Canate. You know, it doesn't make sense at all to just throw in a player into that bigger situation. So I think if we're all being honest, even though we can play fantasy football and make that suggestion, it's not really the style of a big club to do that in that quicker turnover. So I think as long as it gets done before the end of the window, we let him go on the international duty. He gives him a chance to settle in, gets used to the surroundings, and then he starts training with the guys, and we can start using him when the games come thick and fast after the international break.
Fair play, fair play. And another player, Ben, that I wanted to speak about was Stefan Bajicic. Obviously, I think today there was reports that
Yeah,
he looks like he will
staying.
be staying. Obviously, McConnell signed a new contract, is getting his loan deal. I think, I don't know if it's been completed yet, but a loan deal to Ajax, which I think is a brilliant move for him to
Brilliant,
go out on
brilliant
loan,
deal. Yeah, yeah,
play there, get another a year at a top European club. But Nick's Buzz, big up. Thank you very much for your super chat. He goes, thoughts on Bajicic saying, heard Girona 1 day ago. Feels like Liverpool have said to him, okay, you're staying this year. McConnell's going. We want to have a closer look at you to see
exactly.
if you're actually good enough to make it at this football club. If not, you've
Yeah,
got 3 or 4 months to prove, number one, your fitness, and number two, if you're good enough to play for this club, you've got 3 or 4 months. If not, come Jan, we're shipping you off on loan. And it's basically chutti. Chutti means goodbye time. We're gonna
yeah.
say, okay, you're done with us. This is his final and last chance, if you ask me, Ben.
Yeah, yeah. There's like a block of midfielders behind the first choice of midfielders. That's a little bit of a chain, isn't it? We had obviously Tyler Morton last season, who was just there to train with the team, do a really professional job of making up the bodies and numbers, making the bench the odd time in a cup game. But the reality was that they never really banked on him to become a first team player, and they always thought that they could get a good fee for him. And maybe they've looked at Bajicic this summer and thought, we could send you out on loan again, but we do think there's a real player in there. And let's have it right. The guy was playing first team games, scoring goals against Aston Villa not that long ago for us. So there's definitely something there. We've seen it in a very small sample size that there's a special talent in there. So maybe they just think, 12 months with our coaches in an elite environment where he can play and train with the 21s, play week in, week out, but then we can integrate him in with the first team here and there in terms of training. Let's see whether we can get him back to where he was. And if they can get him back to that level, then all of a sudden he might become a viable option as a squad member next season, when we're maybe looking at the midfield and looking at that DM and seeing what options we've got, or they might think to themselves, right, okay, if, I don't know, we want to go to Palace next season and say, right, 100 million for Adam Wharton, there's Bajicic there who can come in and do a job for you for 20 million or something. So it's just giving ourselves options. And then in McConnell, I think they really rate him. They rate him a lot. He's gone out on loan, brilliant loan move for him. And then, as I say, he'll be another one that either comes back and takes the step to going into the first team squad, or we'll sell him for a really healthy profit.
When I look at Stefan Bajicic, Ben, I know Asim's a big fan. I know Avi's a fan. And obviously you're a fan of Bajicic. I'm on the other side, Ben.
Really? Yeah, you don't fancy him?
It's not that I don't fancy him. I think when he first came through, he looked better because we were shit. Now, when you look at our team, I think
we've gone past his level.
And another thing is, Ben, how many games did he play? 10? I don't know the exact number of games. And since then, he's been, since what, 2, 3, it's been at least 2 years, minimum 2.5, nearly 3 years since them games. He's injury prone. He hasn't played Liverpool football for 2 or 3 years. That's a long time. That is a long time.
I agree. And this is definitely a last chance saloon.
For me to say that, he's anywhere near that level, I don't think he is. People are mentioning the loans. They didn't help him. I didn't see anything unbelievable regarding his loan. People did say to me at the back end of last season, he did begin to play well. Maybe he did. I'm not a guy that was following his loans, if I'm honest with you. But 100% last chance saloon. You've got 3 or 4 months to prove yourself. You just had your injury. He's coming back from an injury. And again, we're going to assess him, see how well he does, to see if he's good enough to play for this football. If not, you're right. Last chance saloon. We move on if he's not good enough. And people are saying, look, Slot must have been convinced in training to keep him around Gene. Look, another reason why I think we might keep him is because he's come back from an injury, and do other clubs want to take risks on a player that's just come back from an injury as well? Or they're probably thinking, what, let's just keep him.
What we're not going to get any significant value for him by letting him go out on loan again. So we might as well get him back to a certain level and then we might, at the bare minimum, get 10 million back for him or something like that in 12 months' time.
Yeah, I think I'm more of them. Guys, there's still over nearly 550 in here. Smash that like button if you haven't done already. I don't know what the likes are on right now, but the least you can do, it takes a second to do, is smash that like button. Loads of content coming your way. And Nick's Buzz, yeah, big up. He says he's homegrown too. And I think that's a big one of the big reasons why we will keep him.
200 likes. But come on, guys.
Come on, let's get up to 250 then, guys. Smash them and show your support. But guys, I think we've just done an hour of this show. But to be honest with you, Ben, I think we did well to even go an hour today. It's flown by. We've done well to give it an hour. Hopefully tomorrow we're gonna hear some news in the next 24 hours, right?
The next 24, 48 hours.
Massive 24 to 48 hours coming up. Let's see what happens.
At the end of the day, tonight's show, always a pleasure to talk about the Reds. Always a pleasure to spend an hour with Sheena. But tonight's show, let's be honest, is all about Manchester United being slapped in the face by Grimsby Town.
Yeah, Grimsby Town. Honestly, yeah, look, I'm sure we will all sleep well tonight, especially after that shitty United result. It makes me happy. I love it when they lose, Ben. I don't know what it is. I've just even when they shit, and they're 16,
a warm feeling inside.
I can never want
like
any
hot
good on that football club
as it goes down.
I can never want any good. I hate it when they draw. I fucking want them to lose.
As soon as Manny Maguire equalised, I thought, bloody hell, they're going to get out of this one, aren't they? So for them to then go and lose on pens, that was just
the guys just put this message up. I actually did start it, guys, to be fair. Right, Gene, you're leaving me hanging. Where is Asim? Let me... What's that? Oh, is that Eddie Howe? Yeah, you think, yeah, big up, guys. Asim was on earlier today. Because I couldn't do the daily today because I was busy. He actually came on a couple of hours ago. He did a show himself, and then he says to me, "Okay, he had the night off, so hence that's why Asim is off tonight. I gave him the evening off because we have got hopefully a busy few days coming up, guys.
48 hours coming.
So there you go, guys. No need to be disappointed. I did put up your message, but guys, show your love, smash that like button. We will be back tomorrow for the transfer daily, and definitely be going.
You're getting trolled by the admin. Look, put that up there.
What the hell's... Oh yeah, look at these bastards tonight, eh? Fucking look, I do. Look at them, man. That's definitely that. No wonder you wanted that comment up, Ben.
It just jumped out at me, and I don't know what it was. It just jumped out at me, and I thought, if that's Junior, I haven't had the pleasure of meeting him yet, but I'll be shaking his hand at the weekend.
Junior, it's because I have a go at Junior all the time, and he's probably trying to have a go at me now. So big up Junior, big up the admins. Take care, everyone, and we will see you tomorrow. Take care and goodbye.